Imagine, in the vastness of the universe, two seemingly unrelated fields, quantum physics and Buddhism, intersect, revealing astonishing insights into the nature of reality. Over the past century, scientific advancements have begun to bridge the gap between the empirical rigor of science and the profound introspections of spirituality. This mesmerizing confluence is particularly vivid in the teachings of Buddhism and the discoveries of quantum physics. As we delve deeper into these realms, we find ourselves on a journey that challenges our understanding and opens our minds to the fundamental truths of existence. The harmony between these disciplines invites us to explore the very essence of reality with a sense of wonder, curiosity, and anticipation that keeps us captivated and yearning for more. Buddhist concept of emptiness. Buddhism introduces the concept of emptiness as a foundational principle. According to Buddhist teachings, emptiness is the ground from which everything arises and to which everything eventually returns. This notion posits that all phenomena, whether physical or mental, originate from an empty ground of infinite potentiality. Buddhists believe that everything we experience, be it through sight, sound, touch, thought, or taste, is a manifestation of this ground of emptiness. Exploring emptiness, to delve deeper into the concept of emptiness, consider two illustrative examples. 1. Dream example. Imagine having a dream where a gorilla is chasing you. The dream feels incredibly real, and you experience genuine fear. However, upon waking, you realize that the gorilla, the chase, and the entire dream world were all creations of your mind. They arose from and disappeared back into your dream consciousness. The dream's content wasn't real, but the consciousness that created it was. This dream consciousness serves as the potential ground without which the dream couldn't have existed. 2. Blank paper example. A blank piece of paper can also exemplify emptiness. While the paper itself communicates nothing, it holds infinite potential. On it, one can write an infinite variety of languages, ideas, and stories. Similarly, emptiness in Buddhism can be understood as an infinite field of potential, more real than anything that appears on or arises from it. Quantum physics and materiality. In quantum physics, the nature of materiality reveals itself in dual forms, particles and waves. This duality presents a challenge to our conventional understanding of reality. Particle and wave duality. Particles, when observed, appear as discrete entities located in space and time. Waves, on the other hand, are understood to exist everywhere simultaneously, spread throughout the entire universe. This dual nature implies that matter can exist as both particles and waves, depending on whether it is observed. Double-slit experiment. The double-slit experiment is a cornerstone in quantum physics that demonstrates the particle-wave duality of matter. In this experiment, particles are fired through two slits. When observed, the particles create a pattern indicative of their particle nature. However, when not observed, they create an interference pattern characteristic of waves. This experiment revealed a profound truth: the behavior of particles, whether they appear as particles or waves, is influenced by human consciousness. Quantum emptiness and solidness. One of the most intriguing aspects of quantum physics is the realization that atoms are mostly empty space. In fact, atoms are 99.999999999% empty space. This realization forces a re-evaluation of our understanding of reality and self. Illusion of solidness. Despite being mostly empty space, atoms create the illusion of solidness due to an undefined repulsive force between them. This force is akin to the repulsion between like poles of magnets. Consequently, we never actually touch anything solid. Instead, we experience the repulsive force between the atoms in our bodies and the atoms in objects, giving us the sensation of solidity. This repulsive force creates the illusion that we are experiencing something solid and real when, in fact, we are always experiencing forms of energy. Quantum field and dependent arising. Quantum physics introduces the concept of the quantum field, from which all particles arise and into which they return. This field represents pure potentiality and is spread across all space and time. Similarly, Buddhism's concept of dependent arising suggests that all things are interconnected and that the notion of independently existing objects is an illusion. Everything depends on everything else for its appearance and perceived solidity. Quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement further illustrates the interconnectedness of all things. When particles become entangled, they remain connected in such a way that changes to one particle instantly affect the other, regardless of the distance between them. This phenomenon suggests a profound oneness underlying all existence. Entanglement analogy. Oh, imagine you and a friend each holding a basketball. If these basketballs were entangled like quantum particles, any change to one basketball would be reflected in the other, no matter the distance between them, whether 2 meters or thousands of light years. This concept of entanglement indicates that at the moment of the Big Bang, when all matter was compressed into an infinitely small point, all particles in the universe became ultimately entangled, pointing to a fundamental unity of all existence. Mind and reality. In Buddhism and many other religious traditions, the mind is considered central to understanding reality. These traditions assert that the mind is not merely a passive recipient of external phenomena but actively shapes and creates what we perceive as reality. This concept finds resonance in the field of quantum physics, which posits that the observer fundamentally affects the observed. One of the key principles that illustrate this intersection is the uncertainty principle, introduced by quantum physicist Werner Heisenberg. This principle states that the very act of observing certain particles, such as electrons, alters their positions in time and space. Heisenberg encapsulated this idea with the statement, "What we are observing is not nature itself, but nature exposed to our method of questioning." This suggests that the nature of reality is not fixed but is instead defined by the mind that observes it. The uncertainty principle has profound implications for our understanding of reality. It implies that at a fundamental level, the properties of quantum particles are not set until they are observed. This challenges the classical notion of an objective, observer-independent reality. Instead, it supports the idea that reality is subjective and intimately connected to the consciousness that perceives it. This concept parallels the Buddhist view that reality is a construct of the mind. With our perceptions and experiences shaping what we understand as the world around us, in Buddhism, this idea is often explored through meditation and mindfulness practices, which aim to reveal the illusory nature of our perceptions and the mind's role in constructing reality. By observing the mind and its processes, practitioners gain insight into the ways their thoughts and perceptions create their experience of the world. This understanding can lead to a deeper awareness of the interconnectedness of all things and the realization that the boundaries between self and other, subject and object, are not as rigid as they appear. Similarly, in quantum physics, the observer effect highlights the interconnectedness of the observer and the observed. It suggests that at a fundamental level, the universe does not exist independently of our observation. Instead, our consciousness plays an integral role in bringing reality into existence. This view aligns with the dreamlike quality of quantum particles, which exist in a state of potential until they are observed, at which point they take on definite properties. Both Buddhism and quantum physics propose that the mind is central to the creation and understanding of reality. The uncertainty principle in quantum physics echoes the Buddhist idea that our perceptions shape our experience of the world. By recognizing the role of the mind in constructing reality, we can gain a deeper understanding of the interconnected and subjective nature of existence. This perspective challenges us to rethink our assumptions about the nature of reality and the role of consciousness in shaping the world we experience. Double-slit experiment revisited. The double-slit experiment demonstrates that when quantum particles are observed, they appear as particles, discrete and finite, located in time and space. When not observed, they exist as waves, non-locatable and infinite in potentiality. This experiment underscores the idea that prior to the mind's observation, reality exists only as infinite potentiality. In Buddhist terms, devoid of thought or mind, reality is realized as emptiness or pure potentiality. Conclusion: quantum physics and Buddhism converge on a remarkably similar understanding of the nature of reality. Both disciplines suggest that the fundamental essence of reality is not solid or fixed, but rather an emptiness or pure potentiality. In quantum physics, this idea is represented by the concept of the quantum vacuum, a state of potential energy and possibilities from which all matter arises. Buddhism, on the other hand, refers to this as sunyata, the notion that all phenomena are empty of inherent existence and are interdependent. This convergence of thought reveals that the world we perceive as solid and distinct is, in fact, a projection of our minds or human consciousness. In quantum mechanics, the act of observation plays a crucial role in determining the state of particles, suggesting that consciousness and reality are intertwined. Similarly, Buddhist teachings emphasize that our perceptions and experiences are shaped by our mental states and conceptual frameworks. These profound insights challenge our traditional understanding of the universe and our place within it. They suggest that the boundaries between the physical and the spiritual, the objective and the subjective, are not as clear-cut as we once thought. By bridging the gap between scientific inquiry and spiritual wisdom, this perspective encourages a more holistic view of existence. It invites us to reconsider the nature of consciousness, the interconnectedness of all things, and the dynamic, ever-changing nature of reality itself. Through this lens, we can explore new dimensions of understanding and find a deeper sense of harmony and meaning in the universe.